my dad was the person who, if when you're gonna talk about somebody, he would dial that person's number and say, hey, my man, we're talking about you here. Continue. What were you saying about Umang Mang? Whoa, P, where have you been? Where have you been? Honeys, I literally have no excuse. Well, I actually do, but YouTube doesn't want to happen this year for me, honestly. So without any further ado, grab your cup of coffee. I got mine. Let's do a little catch up. I'm gonna be candid, I'm gonna be honest, and yeah, let's talk about it. You've seen the title. Yeah, let's talk about it. Of course, if you do enjoy this video, give it a massive thumbs up and comment down below on my makeup. My makeup artist has done her thing again. Vamp Me by Dumi is amazing. If you've got a wedding, attending an event, anything that you're looking for glam or even soft glam, she is the girl that you need to contact. So I'll leave her details in the description box if you want your face beat looking similar or even different to this. But anyway, do subscribe if you haven't already, and I love you guys so much. Let's get straight into this video.
Hey there. It's y'all's channel.
Somebody actually commented the other day saying, I have seen a shift in you and I love it. Initially I was like, what, you saw a shift in me? And sometimes people say, y'all, you've changed, and you almost take offense to that. But now I look back and I'm like, actually, yeah, I have changed, and I like the new me. I like who she's evolving to. She is assertive, she is truthful, she is caring and she knows it. She is loving and she knows it. She can be wrong, she knows it. She can fail, she knows that. She can fall, she knows it. But what I love more about her is that now she owns up to her imperfections. And I really want to get into that because so much has happened in the past 3 months that really made me realize that I have changed. And I've grown into who I was supposed to be in the first place. On social media, I am seen as really like sweet, and like I am sweet in general, but some of you also know the side of me that's pretty strict and very firm. And recently, my Q&A a few days ago brought me to realize the fact that I no longer want to hide behind this assumed y'alls, this assumed, and sometimes you live up to that. It's so easy to live up to that. I also realized that you do reserve the right to say no, and I've exercised that right of late. In fact, a lot more times than I have than before. I'm talking just like even family wise. I've never exercised so many no's within such a short space of time, even within my family setting, that it actually feels good. You should exercise saying no and normalize knowing the fact that you have a choice. The one biggest thing that's helped me evolve into who I am is realizing the fact that you don't always have to react, nor do you always have to react in the way that people expect you to react, because you're losing yourself in that. Just because I want to hear yes doesn't mean you should give me that yes. Just because I want you to bend doesn't mean you should, you know. And I've always kind of been that person who does please people most of the time, and I go with the way things look, like the bigger picture, instead of the way I really truly feel. And this year, especially since my dad's passing, I've had to really look at how I look at situations, because my emotions confronted me point blank. I've just been point blank. I can't speak. I've just really been confronted with my real emotions. How do I really feel about XYZ? A certain situation or a certain person, or how does this make me feel? Speak about it, speak out about it. And that's where I realized you need to know and understand the fact that you do reserve the right to say no. You don't have to give reason. There are times where you can say, I don't want to go there, and I don't need to explain myself. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to watch this. I just don't want to. And exercise it. Most of the time you find that men exercise no's, in my opinion, than women in general. They are frank half the time, if not more than half the time, with women. If they don't want to engage in any single thing, if they don't want to go watch your netball game, your tennis game, or whatever girly thing, your movie night, your chick flick, they don't want to do that. And at times they are more likely to say no than we are, and we are the ones who go okay, the action movie is fine. That time you don't like action movies. Okay, the rugby game, yeah, we can go, it's okay, it's compromise. why are we always compromising? So I'm not saying we should be revolting against our men or anything like that. No, it's not a revolution or anything like that, but it's just understanding the fact that you do reserve a right to say no. And especially when that prompting, that gut feeling is saying don't do it, please exercise that yes or that no that you're really feeling in your gut. Because I have found that every single time I've gone against my gut feeling, it's bit me back, and it's bit me back hard, which is part of why I've decided to live this change that I'm feeling, I do feel like that caterpillar turning into a butterfly mode, and that's where I'm at right now. That is the season that I'm at. I'm in a shift in my life, and I've understood that. It was hard. It's definitely still hard. I won't lie to you. I'm still grieving, but within my grief, I've learned that one thing. Speak up about how you're feeling and exercise the answer you are feeling to give. Not necessarily for the protection of other people, but to protect yourself. We need to guard our own hearts. I'm always preaching about being kind to other people. Be kind to you, sis. This season is teaching me to be kind to me. This season is teaching me to be true to me, to be honest and how I really feel. And I've also come to learn the fact that exercise really makes you feel good. Like after you've said that no, if it was that no that you wanted to say, what a weight that is lifted off your shoulders, you know. So that's one of the things that I've learned. The other thing I've just mentioned now is speaking up. I don't think we speak up enough, especially as women. I am one person in the workplace and corporate who spoke up. Sometimes it got me into trouble, I won't lie. So what I've learned to do is speak up tactfully and strategically. Make sure that you are speaking up in a space that you know you are safe. If you don't feel safe, have somebody, pull somebody in there who you feel will have your back, who you feel will actually defend you in your absence, not only in your presence, you know. So speak up in spaces where you feel you are safe. Pull that person into that private talk that you want to have with your boss, but you don't feel comfortable because you feel like you might be ostracized, you know. Find out if you can have somebody there, a third person, you know, somebody above him, so that you may be able to say the things you want to say in the way that your heart is giving it, not in the way that they may take it in, you know, a defensive way or something, or a harsh way or hostile way where you don't mean it that way. So speak up, even in a friendship setting. You know, I spoke about on one of my Q&As this week that I left a space I didn't feel. I felt out of place in a specific space, and I left because I felt out of space. I could not tell you how many people, how many ladies came back to me saying they're in the same position but they don't know how. So y'all, how do you speak up? How do you say I feel out of place? For me personally, I felt like I didn't owe anyone a deep explanation, because everyone knew whatever was going on was going on. Everyone knew that it was just awkward for me, and that's exactly what I said when I left. I said it's just been awkward for me. I'm out, you know, see you guys on the gram. That's literally how I said my goodbye. Do I think I could have said it any better? Yeah, I could have, but then I asked myself, what do I owe these people? Nothing. What do they owe me? Absolutely nothing. And where I did feel I needed to be more tender and kinder, I approached it in that way, with tenderness and kindness. So the most important thing though is the fact that I did speak up, and again I felt as though a weight has lifted, you know. The third thing is seek people, which I also mentioned in the second thing that I've just learned. Seek people who will actually defend you in places where you are not around. It's something my husband has taught me years and years and years. He'd always say, no one will talk about my best friend in my presence. Not because I'll defend him, but they know that they cannot speak about anyone in my presence without them being there. And that for me is so honorable. There's so much integrity in you being that person amongst your family members, amongst your friends, amongst even in your own relationship, where your husband doesn't feel like he can disrespect your friends, he can disrespect your family members, make them look inferior in any way, in any light, you know. Like, don't talk about my cousin when you know how, firstly, you know how close we are. She's in our circle. When she's here, busy, don't do that in my presence. And I am so proud that with my best friend, my closest friends, I know for sure that they don't allow any ill talking about me in my absence, in their presence, and the same for me. In fact, we had a situation the other day where a couple of friends spoke about one of my friends. Bro, I was that person defending my friend, and that's who you want to be. And I look back and I'm like, I like her. I like that y'alls. I like that assertive y'alls. She should be more like that, you know. I'm not saying in other situations I've been an angel all the time. I'm saying I am changing to being the person I want to look up to one day. I want to look back and go, y'alls, when you were entering your 30s, that's probably also why I'm changing. I'm entering my 30s in the next 6 months or so. It's probably why I'm just more candid and more aware, self-aware, assertive, and also a little bit more protective around the spaces I find myself in and who I am in those spaces as well. So it's really important to do that. So I don't want to drag this video for too long. It's supposed to technically be a life update, but also to really explain why I've changed. And those 3 things have really, really helped me. I now officially reserve the right to say no, and I exercise it when I have to. I speak up in spaces where I would usually just shy away and keep quiet and not say anything. But in corporate, I used to stand up for myself, and yet in family settings, in friendship centers, I'm just really keep quiet, you know. And then of course, thirdly, I am that person now who truly believes that I am a great friend. Yes, I stand up for my friends, especially when they're not around. I don't allow people to disrespect my family. If you're going to disrespect them, at least do it in front of them, you know what I'm saying? So that you get clear. And it's one thing that I learned about my dad as well. Apparently my dad was the person who, if when you're gonna talk about somebody, he would dial that person's number and say, hey my man, we're talking about you here. Continue. What were you saying about Umang Mang? And I think that's so much boldness, but it's taught me now. I only heard this actually at his funeral. So many people said that. Some people were the people who were called, some people were the people who were called out. It's just taught me so much that in a world where we're so quick to call out other people, let's look into our own circle. Let's call out our own BS, but let's also be able to call out our own friends who we see are not going the way that, you know, the way that you want your friends to be. Because in your absence, the likelihood of that person doing what they're doing now in your presence is high. They're going to do that. If Batata Goku in your presence, who is part of the circle, trust the fact that they're going to also discuss you when you are not around. You never want to find yourself in there. So I say this to say that I'm finding who I am. Yes, I've been absent. I've been highly stressed. I've been under so much pressure work-wise. Y'all's beauty is truly keeping me so busy. It's a good thing, but I miss YouTube. But I also want to explain the fact that you will see me on socials, Y'all's Channel, at Y'all's Channel on Instagram. If you don't follow me, you will see this shift in y'all's. I am more candid, I am more honest, and I realize that life, as short as it is also quite long. So let's not beat around the bush. Let's just be real. Let's be honest. Let's live life in a way that, you know that saying, treat other people the way you'd like to be treated. Let's actually practice that. And I'm tired of preaching it for so long and not practicing it. And I will admit, I will be the first to admit and say that I was preaching more than I was practicing for the longest time. But this year, being confronted with my own emotions, I realized that in order for me to see that change that I want to see, I have to walk it. I have to talk it. I have to be that very change. And I've already seen it, and I'm so glad that now that I've been able to exercise the things that I am exercising, I am changing. But I like who I'm changing to being. And you know what? A saying my brother said to me the other day, I wrote it down. When you keep it solid at all times, you never have to wonder whether it's me or you. And this applies across everything, not just relationships. It applies in your workplace, it applies to your interview, it applies to any situations where you found yourself being consistent, being truthful, being real, you know, doing what you are doing but being true to who you are. If you've kept it solid the whole time, you don't have to wonder, oh, what happened? Where did it go wrong? You are the consistent one. So look for the anomaly from there. You don't have to look around and go, the anomaly will be so obvious you won't be able to miss it. So stay true to who you are, and whatever season you find yourself in your life, if you have changed, own it. If you are changing, own it. There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with change, as long as it's bringing us to a place of growth, as long as that change is coming with you looking back and going, I'm in a much better space than I was where I was before, emotionally, psychologically, physically, and spiritually. And I say spiritually last because it is the most important. You know, you need to grow in discernment, you need to grow in spiritual awareness, you need to grow in Christ, you need to be growing in extending and exalting the kingdom, you need to be growing in representing the God you say you pray to every single day. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to share that with you all. I love you guys so much. I really hope that you will take this video with the heart in which I give it to you. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Y'all's Channel family. I may not be consistent at the moment, but it is the season that I'm in, and I am embracing it with both arms. Mwah. Bye.